Mary Jane, it is 2018, Tuesday, January 9th. It's about that time. We have a special, very special treat for you, ringing in the new year. Miss Dr. Dina.
Thank you, Noah. This is so exciting to be here, you guys.
Thank you for coming to visit with us. I'm very happy that you're here.
Aww.
You've brought us some special things, too. You know, at about that time, we're sort of in our early stages. We inaugurate new things. We name our pets. You're sitting next to Pierre the pug and Bowie the cat right now. Hi, Pierre. Hi, Bowie.
Nice,
I hope you guys had a good holiday season. They check out real hard. You know what I mean? They party. They don't give us updates. They have
he
a very
stop smoking ever.
Very VIP life. Pierre, he always puffing.
I love it.
Puffin' Pierre.
Puffin' Pierre.
You know? But so guys, if you didn't know, Dr. Dina, she's a woman who with great influence and perspective on this cannabis world. Rocking a coat right now that is pertinent, I believe.
I think so.
The Disjointed coat.
Hold on. We gotta get you
Disjointed
the good shot.
season 1, guys. The cannabis brains behind the Cannabis show with Miss Kathy Bates on the Netflix.
On the Netflix.
True.
The Netflix.
How's that going? Tell us about
awesome.
that. What's up with that?
Well, that's something we did last year. We wrapped in June, which we will hope to be back very, very soon. But our next 10 episodes come out on Friday, which is so awesome.
This Friday, guys.
This Friday. Make sure you tune into Netflix.
Out.
And what's even cooler
Do you know anything? But hold on. What's a gem? Give us a gem.
Okay. Well.
Cooler. We can go with cooler.
Well, first of all, I get to hang out with Kathy Bates and like teach her how to be a proper stoner. That's pretty much the coolest thing I think I've ever done.
Okay.
But let's go back to my history a little bit, just so you know. Kind of how I got in this world.
The good Mary Jane people, you got to know about Dr. Dina.
I started off in the industry, let's go back to when I was 15 years old, many, many moons ago. I was at my friend's house after school. I was hanging out. His dad was an attorney, a criminal attorney. And what did we do? Well, we were smoking pot. Snoop was there. And he was there because he was on a murder trial. And it just so happened that his lawyer was my friend's dad. And so we were hanging out the house, and Snoop said, I want to go smoke something. Where could we go? And I assumed it's a cigarette, excuse me. And so he said, oh, let's go behind the tennis courts. We'll smoke. And Snoop pulled out a blunt. And I didn't know what it was at first. He lit it. I smelled it, and I knew that this was not a cigarette. This was not a cigar. So this must have been marijuana. And so I was very scared. I thought, oh, my God, if I'm even going to inhale this, I'm going to go to jail or I'm not going to pass the SATs. He saw me panic, Snoop, and said, oh, no, she's going to tell my lawyer that I'm smoking weed at his house. So he forced me to take a puff. And now we joke about this forever, that the first person to ever get me high was Snoop Dogg. And now look at me. So from there, I did not become a huge stoner. I enjoyed a toke every once in a while. But about 16 years ago, a friend of mine came to me and said he was sick with cancer and he wanted to borrow a gun because my ex-fiance was a gun collector. And so I said, I don't understand. Why do you want a gun? And he said, because I want to kill myself because my cancer is so bad. I don't have health insurance. I have $50,000 in my bank. I love my wife. I don't want to leave her broke and destitute. And every time I take my chemo pills, I throw it up. And I'm looking in the toilet going, there's $900 because I don't have health insurance. And if I'm not digesting the pills, I'm not fighting the cancer. So I'm just going to die and leave her broke. And I'd rather just leave her the money I have in my bank account. And when I heard that, I was so upset. So I brought a joint to his house because I wasn't going to bring him a gun. And I had seen on the news that cannabis works for people with cancer. And so it was obvious. I brought him the joint. He took a couple puffs, immediately started feeling better. And so from there, it was a struggle because he didn't want to smoke illegally. He didn't want to go to jail and have cancer in jail. So I had to find him a way to get legal. And so I went to the yellow pages and I looked in the yellow pages and there were no doctors willing to write a recommendation for cannabis, even though it was legal in California since 1996. I found one doctor in San Francisco, so I drove my friend up, and we're in LA. We drove 6 hours up the 5 with my friend throwing up in my car the whole way, and I am one of those people that if you're throwing up, I'm throwing up. So I'm like gagging for 6 hours in the car. It was the worst ride of my life. We got there, and the doctor took one look at him and just started writing the doctor's note. And I thought how absurd that I had to spend 6 hours in the car and wait in line around the block just to get in to see this doctor. It was so simple. And why don't we have this in LA? And he said, the doctor said, if you want to open an office, I'll come down and I'll work a couple days a week. A week later, I had a doctor's office. And I started this crazy business from being in the fashion industry to boom, I believed in this. And so I jumped in. We started getting people legal. And just like Snoop, we got him legal for the first time. Everyone had the same question. Well, where do we get our weed? And I didn't want to say, well, go to the park and stand around the corner and maybe someone will offer you something. No, I wanted to create a place where they can go and they could feel safe and have a choice and not feel like a criminal. And so I went to the city of West Hollywood, which happens to be a separate city from LA County, which is very important because they have their own city council, their own rules. And they also happen to have a very large amount of their demographic of the city are people living with HIV and AIDS. It's known as Boys Town. And what is really great for people with HIV and AIDS? Cannabis, because it helps them with their appetite. And so I found it very easy to go to the city council in West Hollywood and say, I want to help people here with HIV and AIDS. And they said, okay. And they gave us a permit. And now, if you look at what's happening in Los Angeles County, people opened up their dispensaries and they became pre-ICO, which means they're tolerated in the city, but they don't have a business license, a business permit. And in order to get your state license in California, now that it's legal, you have to have your city license. So because of that, I was fast-tracked to be able to file for the state of California and get the very first license to sell adult use cannabis in Los Angeles. Blows my mind still to this moment.
Guys, if you're wondering what the meaning of number one is, you're looking at someone who can tell you the meaning of number one. Dr. Dina, a true pioneer, bringing the cannabis to Los Angeles, kicking it off with our homie Snoop. And that sort of leads us maybe to this story about this jacket that you're wearing.
Well,
new
even
season
before
of
that.
Disjointed. Okay.
Even before that.
Slowing it down again.
So the show Weeds was very loosely based on my life. My godbrother was Andy. He's in jail right now for being a deviant person. He tried to set fire to our competitor's building. Lesson learned, don't do that. So he's a bad guy. He's been put in jail, and those are the characters in the show. They really kind of based it off us very loosely. So in the beginning, it was the fame of, oh my God, she's the real Nancy Botwin. And sure, they cast her to look a little bit like me, and they cast the Andy character to look like my godbrother, and a lot of other characters in my life. And so it's very loosely based. I don't kill grandmas, and I would never sleep with a DEA agent. Just putting it out there because that really bothered me in season 1. No, no, no.
Here's some rules, guys. Dr. Dina is putting you in the game. Don't sleep with DEA agents. Don't kill grandmas. I think those are words to live by, right?
Yeah, just be a good person.
I think that's, you know, if you're going to have a policy, those are 2 good policies.
Absolutely.
No sleeping with the DEA, no killing grandmas. What's your grandma's name?
My grandmas both passed away, but we have a Sylvia and a Pearl.
Sylvia and Pearl, those are great grandma names.
Yeah, right?
Next level grandma names. I got Hilda and Sadie.
See, I had an Aunt Hilda and an Aunt Sadie.
Get out
there
of town.
You go. We might be related, Noah.
Possible.
It's possible. We could play Jewish geography, possibly.
Geography, even.
There you go.
It happens.
And so when Chuck Lorre, who's the creator of Big Bang Theory and 2.5 Men, he wanted to do a show with this gentleman named David Javerbaum. David Javerbaum worked for The Daily Show. He is absolutely hysterical. He's such a genius guy. He has won 13 Emmys, just so talented. And so he met DJ. DJ's known as the Tweet of God on Twitter. A lot of people know just as God, and God likes to talk shit about everything. But he's a very entertaining Twitter account to follow. Chuck wanted to do a TV show with David, and he asked David, what do you want to do a show about? And DJ said, weed. I want to do it about a weed dispensary. And so they came to me and said, we want to model loosely based on some crazy stories that may or may not have happened in your store. Maybe you can give us some great ideas. And before you know it, I was hired as the consultant for the show and getting to work with all the actors and designing the set and making sure that it looks accurate. And I've had so many people tell me that it looks like a real shop. They want to know where is that actual shop. And to me, that makes me so happy because that meant that I did a good job.
Yeah, you did do a good job, per usual.
Well,
so anyway, everyone out there in Mary Jane Land, here we are with About That Time, chilling with Dr. Dina, talking about the new show, new series of Disjointed. Dr. Dina herself, the cannabis consultant, putting Kathy Bates in the game, making sure it is an authentic experience for everyone involved.
Well, I do have to say, I didn't really put Kathy in the game because Kathy really
helping her elevate
her game. She had her game before,
right,
but now
right.
we've elevated it. So now she's into concentrates.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, speaking of getting into concentrates, Dina, it seems as though you've brought us a little something. Now, we like to kick things off here. We like to continue breaking ground on About That Time whenever possible. We have not officially done a dab on About That Time. Are you ready?
And you know what?
What's that?
It's about that time.
It
Noah.
is about that time.
It's about
guys.
that time.
2018, it's about that time. We're gonna dab. Walk us through what we're about to do.
So let's start slow. Let's talk about what are dabs, because there are some people out there that don't understand what a dab is. A dab is a measurement of hash oil. So we say we take a little dab, and it's kind of implied that just like smoking a bowl, we know that you're putting weed in that bowl. We know you're dabbing oil. So just to clarify what that is. And so I have here I brought some, oops, dropped it. I dropped some shatter. We have Hardcore OG from West Coast Cure. This is my absolute favorite shatter on the planet. Just putting it out there. You guys just should not buy it. Just leave it all for me. Seriously. So this is what it looks like. And so it got a little gooey, so it flipped. But it's kind of a gooey substance. And when it gets really, really cold, if you hit it, it will shatter into a lot of pieces. And that's where they get the name shatter from. And then over here, we've got, oh, that was empty. I grabbed the wrong one. Over here, we have some Dabalicious. This is some banana crumble. Look at that crumble. And that hasn't been waxed, so this is de-waxed. This is waxed, so you can manipulate it with your fingers a little bit easier. It doesn't stick to everything. And those are made with butane. This is a solventless. That's a strawberry banana from soil-grown extracts. Really clean. And this is all the solventless. They literally, this is flower rosin. So they just pressed it. They just took their buds and they squished it with heat and pressure, and they made that. So no solvent. And then this, ooh, we got some sauce. A little bit of sauce in there. Saucy.
Well, very saucy, I would say.
Yeah, very terpy.
Purple tangy.
So the terpene content on this is really high. And as you can smell, when you open it, it's just saying, please smoke me.
A bouquet.
Please smoke me.
Of deliciousness.
So let me get some on here for you. So what I like to do is I personally like dabbing from an e-nail, which is an electric nail, so that I don't have to keep using a torch every time. But today, we're gonna go old school. And so, do you have a timer, Noah?
I do.
We should have a timer up on the screen.
Guys, let's time it. Let's time it out. I don't know that we can time on the screen on demand, but we'll time something. We have a clock.
So what I like to do is we're gonna heat up the quartz. This is a quartz dish. We're gonna heat that up. And then we don't dab right away because we don't want the heat to burn the oil. We don't want smoke. We want vapor. And if you burn your terpenes, there are studies showing that it is carcinogenic. So we want to do low temperature dabs.
So we're going to let it sit for how long after we heat it?
Usually about 20 seconds. What I like to do is I always hold my finger over about this high. And if I don't feel a sting, it's ready.
Okay.
Because if you're going to sting your finger, you're going to sting your lungs. We don't want that. So let's start with my tricky little torch.
No safety goggles.
And you don't want to touch this after you do it. I've had a lot of people go, oh, what is that? And they pick it up by the hot nail.
Guys, be careful if you're going to play with fire. Learn while you burn, but don't get yourself burned in the process.
You will get a dab burn at some point.
It's happened. That's kind of like a rite of passage, if you will.
It is. Just have some CBD oil ready to go. Put right on that.
I agree.
Heal it up right away.
Instant healing.
So can we just talk for a second about the fact that I have a legal shop where anyone 21 and over can walk in right now, and I'm freaking out because
Guys, if you didn't
it's
know
so busy right now.
Everyone out there, if you didn't know, in the state of California, we just went recreationally legal. In the city of California, in the city of Los Angeles rather, there are very few proprietors of this recreational legal cannabis. You're looking at one of the people who is legally
well,
able to
can I just say the
provide.
funniest part of all of this is that we have had over a year to plan for this, right? We passed it, and then everyone was so consumed about the fact that Donald Trump is our president that we forgot that we passed legalization and it was coming, and we didn't get our permit till like 3 days before, so we had no prep time. I had no idea. I had to call every person that's ever worked for me and say, get back to work. I don't care if you have a new job, you're back to work, because I don't have time to train anyone. I mean, it was madness. And we've been open for 16 years.
Nothing compares to
Nothing compares to this.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
we were on the Today Show, we were on NBC Nightly News, and we were, all of a sudden, our little shop became like the news hub for what's going on in the world. It's pretty cool.
All right, guys, are we
there.
ready?
We're almost
Dr.
there.
Dina, the pioneer.
You
Her
heard
first
that.
smoke was with Snoop. My first about that time dab is with Dr. Dina.
Okay, go for it. So this is a carb cap, a fancy one. I think you got another hit in there. And then the most important part of a dab is cleaning the oil out, the reclaim oil out right away.
Guys, that was it. The first about that time dab, courtesy of Dr. Dina.
I'm so
Tears.
honored.
Tears are coming from the sky. It's raining right now in LA. Those are tears of happiness coming from the sky, celebrating the first about that time dab. Is a magical moment.
I just want you to appreciate the baby dab that I gave you.
Guys, I am not afraid to admit it. I am a big man who likes baby dabs. It's all good.
All right, it's about to get fun over here.
It's about to get fun, though. Dina's going to show us
Super fun.
how the pros do it.
So I like my oil to definitely be longer than a dab.
So what would you call that? Is that like a dab?
A little dab snake, maybe.
A dab snake.
Dab snake, dab worm.
Dab snake, dab worm. We're getting reptilian. We don't have any reptiles in our crew. Pierre the Pug and Bowie the Cat, though, they're cool with reptiles. Reptiles are very in for 2018, is what I've heard. Seriously. I'm just letting you know.
Wasn't that 2017, though?
Reptiles were
Yeah,
2017?
kind of. I feel like, you know.
All right.
We had a lot of Weinstein
Well,
shit, so.
Bowie and Pierre party pretty hard, so they can't always keep track of the year.
This is amazing. So I just got back from filming a web series for 420 TV, which is like this new platform that's going to come out, and I'm hoping maybe we'll show it on Mary Jane. But,
Mary Jane loves the Dr. Dina, cannot get enough, so let's talk about
my
it.
job is traveling around to different cities and going to different dispensaries, like just finding the best dispensary in that city, finding the best weed in that dispensary, and then going and getting high in that city. It's the best job ever.
Sounds like you have a lot of shitty jobs. Everyone out there is crying for you. That's why the sky may be crying as well. All right.
I'll take that.
All right. We have officially dabbed on about that time, guys. Piercing through multiple dimensions. We are now fully dab approved. Pierre, Bowie, Dina, we did it together, guys. Boom.
That was nice.
Love it. Well, now that we're all dabbed up, Dina, we do a segment on about that time called Roll the News, where we talk about some hot news from themaryjane.com. Roll the News is brought to you by our fine sponsors at The Weekend Box, and they like to make sure that people are, up to what's worth knowing about.
I like this.
So the first story we're going to talk about is a recent survey that shows that 60% of Americans now are in favor of legalizing cannabis. Yes. I mean, as you know, we're a long time.
Only 60?
Only good answer.
It was 73% last time I checked.
In the United States of America, as it is. This is a new report.
I think that report is incorrect.
Well, you've got
I think those are the states that maybe didn't even.
70% of millennials, 66% of Gen Xers, 70% of all Democrats, 35% of people 71 years and older.
So what does that mean? That means that we all have a job to go find that 30%, those people who are your grandparents, who maybe are conservative, and win them over because we need their votes. So just putting it out there.
Do we have to get them high? Is that what you recommend?
No, you don't necessarily have to get them high, but you need to just tell them some stories, show them a little Sanjay Gupta, you know, win them over slowly.
Guys, Dr. Dina recommends start with Gupta.
Yep. Start with the episode where he said he was wrong about cannabis. And he actually did this amazing documentary where he shows how much it helps these sick kids. And I promise you, people who are really conservative and hate weed, when they see this, they can't deny the benefits.
Can't deny it. Sanjay Gupta.
There you go.
He will change the 40% that aren't in this survey that says 60% of Americans are now down with legalizing cannabis. It's the Pew Research Center that conducted the survey. They found the 60%. It's 4% more than last year of the same survey.
Okay.
This is the most in favor of cannabis legalization since they started doing the survey. In what year? 1969.
Wow.
1969. Pew Research Center. 60% of people love weed. I mean, again, seems like how could it be that low?
Yeah. Well, I believe that all use is medicinal use in a way. And even though we see it as like, well, first of all, the word recreational marijuana is not in our terminology in California, and every news person has got it wrong. It drives me crazy. I try to correct the reporters. I just give up after a while, but we are adult use. And I really believe that it's up to an adult to decide if they want to use it for a medical problem, and they just shouldn't have to go to a doctor to ask permission and get a letter. And I had all these people come in the last couple days, people who did not have a doctor's note, they've never gotten one, but they were sick. And they said they just didn't want to be on a list. And some of them were big celebrities who were like, I just don't want to be on a list. I don't want people to know. And so you don't really, people judge it and go, it's all recreational, but I disagree.
Adult use, guys. Better way to say it. Yeah. We're all grown-ups here. We can make our own decisions. Are we going to smoke something terpy? Are we going to smoke bananas?
Are we doing strawberry banana?
Oh, no. I don't think we're ready to get there yet. But we'll get there eventually. So the next story from the Mary Jane that we can discuss is about a big topic that everyone here in the cannabis world and now the rest of the world was aware of. You know, Mr. Jeff Sessions took some actions last week that definitely got not just the cannabis community all riled up, but really the whole world. That was some real headline news. You mentioned a Today Show appearance. You know, this is the biggest headline anywhere around, which is that Jeff Sessions has knocked over a smart directive from the Obama administration called the Cole Memo. No longer in place, puts a lot of these cannabis businesses at risk.
I think it's kind of, there's a fine line here. On one hand, I feel like Jeff Sessions really was disobeying the president's orders because the president has said it's up to the states to decide. He's not going to touch it if it's up to the state. He's really more for medical than adult use, but it's up to the states. All Jeff Sessions really did by reversing the Cole Memo was say it's up to the states to decide. And that's what Republicans stand for, states' rights. And that's the one thing that the cannabis industry, that's like our only glimmer of hope in the Republican Party is states' rights. And so we're not really concerned because it's really just up to our state, and our state has come out and said they're not going after us. They're going forward with our adult use program. And so as long as we're abiding by those rules, that's for me. But the person that's selling weed out of their garage, that's another story. And so you have to look at it and go, is this worth going to jail for? Should you try to get a permit and do it legitimately, which I recommend, or you're breaking the law? And that goes for anything. You can't make alcohol in your house and be selling it. You can't like have a bar in your garage, you know? There's permits for that. So.
Well, you can have a bar in your garage, but
not
you can't be
charging
booze.
For booze.
That's
in the neighborhood.
Well, so to your point, a lot of state level politicians showed kind of opposition to this move.
Right.
And that's good for us, especially in the state of California, state of Colorado. Interestingly, Massachusetts, the U.S. attorney there seemed to have a more ambiguous view, which is strange given that the people of Massachusetts recently passed both medical and adult use in their state. So we'll see how this plays out. But it's getting the whole world riled up, and you know you're really at the forefront of this because you yourself are proprietor of an effective shop.
People also forget that we have the Rohrabacher-Farr Amendment, which was renewed, extended, I should say. We have it for like another week, and then it's over. And so that is the one thing that has been protecting us, and we need to get that renewed in Congress, otherwise we're all screwed.
Guys, there's things happening.
Donate money to Dana Rohrabacher.
In the government. Us. Dana Rohrabacher, he's repping for the people that love the cannabis. But to Miss Dina's point, this thing that Jeff Sessions just did is bad, but letting this budgetary amendment expire
is worse.
Is much worse. So if you think last week's headlines were notable, get ready for 2 weeks from now's headlines because it's going to be a little ridiculous.
Yeah, that's when shit's going to get real.
Yeah, really real. Do you think that there's any anticipation on Jeff Sessions' part of that later event happening?
You know, you're asking someone who's been raided by the federal government more times than she has fingers in her hands and has never been charged by them. They come in, they rob you, they take everything, and they leave. And they've never found a violation. They've never been able to charge. So when I look at that and say, if they want money, that's one way to go about it. But you know, you have a president who's bragging about employment's up and he's not going to make us look bad. So what I really am worried about is not the dispensary so much, but the other people, the growers, the people that are not following the rules. And there are a lot of them. Unfortunately, California is having a hard time transitioning from the black market, supposedly, which, you know, 2 weeks ago was like, I could call anyone and I can buy a pound of weed off them and sell it in my store. Now, I have to say, I'm sorry, is this a distribution license? You're delivering it to me through a distribution license. In order for the distributor to work with you, you have to have a manufacturer's license. And so right now the flow of product is so slow that they're not gonna come after us. They're gonna wait till later, and by then it's too late. The state's gonna protect us, and the state has already said, if they come after us, they will go after Congress. And so this could be the best thing that could ever happen for us in long term, is that they do try to fuck with us and the state protects us and goes after it, and actually we can try to reschedule cannabis on a federal level. That's what we need to do. Francis Young was an administrative judge who actually ruled in 1981 to the DEA that cannabis should not be a Schedule I drug. The DEA is supposed to listen to that ruling and alter and reschedule cannabis. They have refused to acknowledge this ruling since 1981, and they say that there is no medicinal benefit in cannabis, yet they hold a patent for it. And in order to get a patent, you have to prove it works. They have proved that cannabis works as a neuroprotectant. And so for me, it's so frustrating.
Very frustrating. Guys, peep some facts. Dina is dropping knowledge right now to you that you should definitely be up on, because again, this big sensational news from about Jeff Sessions and the Cole memo last week is really just a small part of a much bigger story that's really constantly evolving and unfolding right before us. And Dina is really in the front and center of that.
And you know what's also scary is that the DEA can keep 100% of whatever they take from you. So if they're the only government agency that doesn't have to like put the money back into the government pot. They keep it for themselves. And now there have been multiple times where we've been raided and they will have all of the money and they put it into a bag and they count it and they still tell me, sign the bag, sign the seal of it, so that way we know that you know that the money's going to be in there. Otherwise, we can't prove that money was in there. And I always say I'm not going to sign shit, because by me signing it, that's me claiming it, and then they can go after me. These are all like tactics that the government uses. You just say, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not my money. But you'll watch them put, $80,000 into a bag. When they send you a receipt 2 weeks later, all they say is like, undisclosed bag of cash, change, $17, or, and so you see these guys. I've actually run into DEA agents in Los Angeles and seen them driving around in a Range Rovers, wearing, Burberry shirts and wearing Rolex watches. And I'm just like, I see you, motherfucker. Like, I see you, and I know I paid for that. And there's nothing we can do about it. And so we have to go after these crooks and change what they're doing. Because if they're going after meth, I have no problem with it. But they're not. They stopped. They did stop. The Rohrabacher Farr Amendment has helped us the last couple years. But it was a really, really tough road before that.
Absolutely. Really cool stuff. And guys, if you want to learn more about this or these kind of stories and all this breaking news, definitely check out maryjane.com. Definitely follow Dr. Dina. She's always a great source for great people and great information. So on About That Time, you know, our Roll the News segment is sponsored by the Weekend Box. So, you know, we brought that for you. It's the Weekend Box.
Oh, it's even in a childproof,
it's compliant
exit bag.
Would you like to open it and check it out?
Can I tell you what the most fucked up part about these laws are? They don't tell us anything, right? And so if I go to the Cannabis Bureau's like website to see what are the rules for dispensaries, all they say is like, check back later. So, but I know I have to use these bags, and every company uses a different type of bag, right? And so there's like a learning curve to opening these bags. And so the first day, we had like 9 different types of exit bags. And our employee, it took us like 45 minutes to open one bag. Well, we had one person that's just trying to figure out these things. But now I figured them out now.
You've got them all?
Look at this one.
Wow.
So because these really have the little silicone.
That was pro. That was really pro.
Been doing this now for how many days now? What's today's date?
It is the 9th of January.
7 days. This is why I can't even think straight, and I don't know what the date. This is so pretty.
Weekend Box. You're getting the shout out from
Dr.
Dina.
Oh my God, you guys. Look at this.
Caviar Gold edition of the Weekend Box.
Oh, I love those guys. Those guys are really nice.
Well, look at that.
I was just trying to like take it off. And it even has a little handle on it.
A little handle. So convenient.
Hold on, I'm
for your
loving
weekend.
This is so pretty. Okay. I'm all about the packaging. Presentation's very important. Wow, look at this. Look at.
I'm gonna read all about
it.
You got some pre-rolls, you got some flour, you got some
so
tings.
Fancy.
Some tings in there.
Look at that, infused flowers. And it's got the silicone top. You guys, this is like serious.
When I did some research, I found out Caviar Gold is the world's strongest marijuana.
Oh, is it?
I mean, that's what they claim. Their THC percentage is higher than any other on the market.
Well, yeah, because it's infused marijuana, right?
Correct.
Of course, yes. But
that's sort of a, you know.
Does it tell that it's so crazy now? And so now we're limited. We can only sell you 8,000 milligrams, like, of THC. And you have to sit there and count all this. It's very
per milligram. You got to add that stuff up.
Yeah.
So there you go.
The flavors.
The gold
These
Weekend
are
Box,
really cool.
just for you.
Well, thank you, Noah. I appreciate that very much.
No thanks needed. Thank you.
Strawberry. Smell that.
All right. Strawberry-licious. Wow, that literally smells like a strawberry.
Very terpy. This is a marijuana product, it says on here.
I believe them. What do we got there? Is that as magical as this?
I think it's great, but I think that one might be more magical. I'm not sure. What do you think?
This one is stronger in terms of smell. More terpene rich, one might say, right? Very
all
terpy.
about the terps.
Terpy and trippy, guys. Well, here we are, Mary Jane, About That Time, chilling out, enjoying our afternoon with Miss Dr. Dina. Her dispensary is blowing up. She has a show coming on Netflix that she's a consultant on. Oh, I have
another dispensary, too, in Cathedral City. If you guys are near Palm Springs, we have the OG Collective. That's adult use also.
Adult use, guys.
And we're going to be opening up a couple other locations. But West Hollywood is OzWeHo, Alternative Herbal Health Services. And we are the oldest dispensary south of San Francisco.
Now, here's a question. Do you go and chill out in Cathedral City? Is that a vibe for you?
Not as much as I would actually, no.
Fuck the desert.
You know what it is? No. My parents used to have like a vacation place out there, so we would go all the time. So I'm like still traumatized from being trapped,
in the desert.
In the desert, and so I do like going out there. I just haven't had a second because LA just kind of keeps me.
But now you're gonna have a dispensary down there.
Yeah, now we do.
Gives you a chance to touch hands. Good people in Cathedral City.
Yes, OG Collective. They're dope. They've got everything that we have in West Hollywood, and yeah. Go visit. We're all going to have on-site consumption permits coming soon, but we can't smoke on-site anymore. And that was like the biggest difference for me is that my rig was on the table, and at the stroke of midnight, I no longer could take a dab. And so I keep walking up to like the dab station in the back, and there's no rig, and there's no oil, and it's like I literally go to, and I do it all day long.
Well,
I'm still in mourning.
Some things are worth mourning, guys.
Yes.
And this is a battle out here. We're fighting every day to try to make things make sense.
Yes.
There's a lot of comments that are asking you guys to smoke some of those joints on
Oh, we need to smoke a joint. Ooh.
Smoke any joint or smoke the caviar gold? Any joint?
Oh, we have a joint?
Oh,
Okay.
no, we can smoke one of the pre-rolls if you want.
I'd rather smoke one of those.
Okay, great.
Oh, yeah, you're going for it, Noah. That just looks like a really great roll job, you know? Nice hand roll. That's the way to do it.
Guys, it's a handy accessory to have around the house. I highly recommend it. Are we locked?
There's a childproof safety portion. There you go.
No approved. Half child. It's like half child proof. Sometimes these torches get complicated, you know?
You know, that's why I prefer the email, so it's always hot at the right temperature and it's like ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think Pierre was really the one who was kind of pressuring us. You should give Pierre, do you want to pet Pierre for a second?
Yes, Pierre's so sweet.
Yep. And he's just chilling over there with Bowie. You know, those are the residents here at about that time. We get them through.
Pierre doesn't share his weed though.
No, but that's why he was unable to because of his hand situation, his opposable thumb situation.
Okay.
So that's why. There you go. You just got passed. Yo, Pierre just passed to you.
Thank you, Pierre.
You got two. You got two. Now pass to me, Pierre. Oh, there we go. Thanks.
Yeah, this is pretty stony.
All right, I'm passing back to Pierre. Look, we got the tactile pass. Oh, Pierre. Real magic in the air, guys, here at about that time. You know what that makes me think is that, you know, here at about that time, we have a special moment we call astrology time.
Ooh, I
And,
like astrology.
you know, we like go into a little parallel universe. We bring Pierre and Bowie with us. And we break out our salt crystal lamp.
Ooh.
And we just, you know, get
getting
into a
fancy.
different mode.
Okay, well now I'm gonna take my jacket off. I feel like
Everyone
we're
should be
changing the mode.
comfortable. Take your jackets off. Mary Jane, about that time, astrology time, Dr. Dina. Here we are. Now, you're a Pisces.
Yes, I am.
Cusp.
Cusp.
Pisces cusp. They should know that, right?
They should. You never know what you're gonna get with me.
Aquarius Pisces cusp. That's a stylish one. I like that a lot. Are you interested in your horoscope? Or do you follow your sign?
Sure.
Have you had your natal chart done before?
No.
Do you know what your moon is?
I know my rising, I think it was a Sagittarius.
I see that, fiery.
Okay.
Your moon is in Gemini.
Oh shit, we're all screwed now.
Well, we are just what we are. I don't think it makes it better or worse. It just is what it is. But you wear it well. So I'm going to kind of read some descriptions about these astrological things, and then you can sort of tell me whether you agree or disagree, and then we can talk about it, you know?
All right.
The first element is Mercury in Aquarius. Likes everything new, is original, and an innovator. Values independence and liberty of action greatly. Tell me about that?
Well,
True or false?
I would say true.
Okay, you want to tell
Okay.
me something about that? Everything new and original? Innovator, first
I think that
dispensary in
pretty
Los
much
Angeles.
summed it
That's
up.
pretty
There you
good.
go.
You started pretty high, and you continue to innovate. You know, being one of the first 4 dispensaries in LA selling adult use cannabis is a pretty big fucking deal. It's a pretty big city.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to LA County opening because it's hard to actually take all the patients in LA County in like out of 4 shops. There's only 4 stores open. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of
So
people.
I would like everyone else to open too, so we're not just the only ones because it's a lot of work. It's
a lot of
exhausting.
work. It's a lot of work, but that's what happens when
Like people have to wait in line to get in sometimes. It's like
Innovating
there could be an
super
hour
hard.
line and people aren't complaining.
Everyone's just chill.
People just want to buy weed.
People want to buy weed. People keep it chill. Dr. Dina, innovating. Venus in Pisces, sentimental and easily moved.
Oh, I'm very sentimental. And
Yeah?
I don't know about so easily moved, but it takes a little bit. Yeah, but I'm very sentimental.
In what way are you sentimental?
Well, it's actually funny. I took care of my grandfather when he was...
Whose name was?
Harry.
Harry.
Harry. And I took care of him when he was in his 90s until he passed away at 94 and a half. And after he passed away, my grandmother had already passed away. I was living in his house with all his furniture. And it was like 1961, and that's when it was decorated, and nothing had changed. So I was living like in an episode of Mad Men. And when I moved, I brought everything with me. Like, I got rid of all my nice new stuff to take their old stuff because I'm so sentimental. So recently, my husband and I just redid our house, and we had the biggest fight because he was like getting rid of everything. I'm like, no, like I need to keep. And he's like, look at it, it's falling apart. I'm like, but my grandfather went through the Depression, and he would appreciate the fact that I'm using this table that's falling apart. I just get sentimental. Yeah. I also have a huge picture of my grandparents over my safe, watching over.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's hard. And they chilled down in Cathedral City?
A little bit. They were in Beverly Hills.
Oh, sick. Repping LA, super hard.
I was living in like the oldest house in Beverly Hills with my grandfather, like literally the oldest house. It was like this little house surrounded by mansions, and it was amazing.
Is it still there?
It's still there.
That's cool.
I know. Yeah. I'm sure one of these days it'll get torn down and rebuilt.
That seems to be the way things go on occasion, but still
for now, it's still there.
Nice to be sentimental about, you know? Think about your grandpa's house.
I still drive by. We don't own it anymore, but I still drive by and look. There's the sentimental part of me.
I named my jade plant after my grandma.
There you go.
Sadie the jade plant. We can check in with your fine friends on Instagram.
Hello, everybody.
Should we see if there's anyone over there that has a question?
Does anyone have any questions, you guys? What's up from Texas? What's up, Texas?
Hi, Texas.
Hey.
Chilling. About that time, astrology time, doing our thing.
Yeah,
with
we're
Pierre
just
the
hanging
Pug
out.
and Bowie the Cat. Saturn in Cancer invests in her interior reality as she prefers it to the exterior world. You got a good chill space? You got a chill zone? Do you have like a chill chair at home?
I think my whole pad turned into a chill zone.
Really?
Yeah.
What are the secrets to having the chillest pad ever, Dr. Dina?
Just, to be honest, it's not even about what you have. It's just, to me, it's about like good lighting.
Good lighting is key.
You gotta have good lighting.
Okay. That's way harder to achieve than, saying good lighting is way harder to like make happen.
Yes. However, just a little light like
solid crystal lamp, guys.
I have a bunch of these actually.
Cosign.
Like I have tons of those.
One per room? Would you recommend
lighting,
one per room?
They're actually really good for you, especially if you have asthma. Supposedly, it like charges the air, so I'm gonna believe that. Why not? It's
Very well
pretty.
put. Scientific.
It's salt for Christ's sake. So we have those, and then Hue lights, from Philips. Those are amazing. I put those everywhere. And
do you have the connected ones? Can you talk to them? Can you talk to the lighting? Do you talk to your lighting?
Oh yeah, well you just tell. Yeah.
So what do you say? Lights on? Do you say like? Do you have different presets?
Oh no, this is actually really funny. So we have different presets, and you can choose. Like you can take a photo in your phone and say, I want your lights to like look like that photo. And so we have for certain friends, like if Snoop comes over, you just walk in and say, Crippin', and like everything turns blue.
That's pretty next
if
level.
If Dame walks
Dina.
in, he says Bompton, and everything goes red. Like it's saved under funny names, so you're not going to just say blue, and it's not. I mean,
wait.
Yeah.
So how many of these presets exist? Because
a lot.
This is pretty next level.
It's like a whole language we have in our house that random people would think we were crazy.
Dr. Dina has invented a lighting language, folks. So, pioneering, as always, making that interior
really
space.
Stoned, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
Let's
so
have
what is
carnival?
A carnival?
Oh, yeah.
You have a carnival? Is there some modulation? Does it like move? Does the lights change?
Some of them, yeah.
Full on rager.
Well, it depends what route, because we have different lights set up to different areas, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Lighting rager at Dr.
And you can
Dina's.
get the little lights that stick on
See,
shit.
look, the crowd likes it. So you know what I mean? We're rocking out, Dina's house, light show.
Put the lights under your TV, like behind your TV.
Oh yeah, they got the strip, right? They got the strip.
All the strips underneath everything, and they all go different colors, and it's fucking crazy.
Guys, the world of lighting is a magical thing.
So basically, my house in the daytime is completely boring, but at night it's like a fucking party.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna co-sign that. Saturn in Cancer. The final element from astrology time that we can discuss is the trine between the sun and the big U, as we call it. Allergic to everything routine. What do you think?
Allergic to everything routine.
Do you like change?
No.
You like a routine.
I'm a routine kind of person. My
Okay.
own routine, not someone else's routine. That's where it gets too complicated.
Tell me more about
Change
that.
my routine.
Okay, your routine, keep it the same. Other people's routine, but got to keep it stepping up. Or...
I mean, I don't need it just for me, I do not wake up in the morning and wake up and go yeah, I am not that person. So for the first hour, I'm not even awake. I am completely sleepwalking, zombified. Anything that I cannot check my phone. I cannot make phone calls. I need to wake up an hour earlier than I actually need to wake up just to snap out of it. That's always been me my entire life. So what do? I wake up in the morning and I go take a hot shower and I make a cup of tea and I'll smoke, take a dab, and then usually that's when I start waking up. That's a good morning. So that's my routine. Then I go to work. That's pretty much a routine to me.
It's a routine.
Yeah.
It's a good one, though.
Yeah.
Positive vibes.
Yeah.
I like
and then
it.
at night, take a couple dabs before you go to sleep. That's a routine.
There you go.
Okay.
Take your medicine. Enjoy your life. Well, that was astrology time, Dr. Dina. I think we lost Pierre in the course of astrology time, but Bowie stayed with us. Bowie, he reps with the dark.
Bowie.
Cats have good night vision, so it makes sense that he'd be able to come into outer space for astrology time with us.
You want to hit it? You want to hit it?
Bowie, he's always catching things for us. Well, Dina, as we are exiting astrology time,
Yes.
is there anything further that you feel like the people should be aware of that you have in store for them in 2018?
Gosh. What do I have in store? Well, this Thursday at my dispensary in West Hollywood at Oswego, we're going to be selling Netflix branded strains of weed. So we're rebranded back to Disjointed, the dispensary. And with that, it's actually dope because Netflix is actually working with us, like a company like Netflix. I never thought in my, when I first got in this industry, people didn't want to talk to me. Friends, my friends' parents shunned me, oh, she's the drug dealer. And I always saw myself as someone, as a healer. Even I have a neighbor who I have a love-hate relationship with, and for years he would say, oh, there she comes, Al Capone. And I would look at him and go, Mother Teresa, and he would laugh. And now he's like, I'm proud of you. You're doing a good job. I'm proud of you. I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
So
Next
I'm seeing a lot of that, which is pretty cool. I'm hoping that we all can push that in other states. We can all get jobs in the industry. People are upset because the industry is changing. It's not changing for the negative. It's going to change for the positive. There's going to be so many more jobs. People are actually going to make real money. People are going to have health insurance. People are going to have things get paid overtime. That was not happening in the industry before. So it's a positive, and what I hope to see is I'm going to be expanding, working on so many different things. I have a distribution license, I have cultivation license, I have delivery license, I have volatile extraction license. So I could be working with all of these great companies who don't have licenses to help them out, which puts me in a great position, and at least it helps me know that my friends are going to be good, and that's the future, people. Get involved. It's not too late. People always hit me up and go, how do I get involved in the industry? And I'm sure people hit you up too, right? How do I get involved in the industry? Well, go get a job. Go turn a resume in. It's not that difficult. But at this point, I don't want to hire people that haven't had marijuana industry experience. And I've never been like that before. It was always the opposite. To me, it's like if you worked at Fred Siegel before or Nordstrom's, okay, maybe,
Right. Got to keep that level high.
And nowadays, it's like, if you worked at a weed shop, I need you because you probably know how to handle my POS system or whatever it is. It's gnarly.
Or deal with a wide range of
exactly
patients.
what the products are already and how to deal with people exactly.
Yep. Cool. Well, Dina, thank you once again for coming and joining us on About That Time. Mary Jane, thanks for checking in. It's been enjoyable. We've had Bowie with us. We smoked some really beautiful dabs. We popped our
Yum.
dab cherry, if you will. You know.
Yeah, give me the torch, Noah. I think
Here
we
we
have
are.
to have a dab from the way out.
All right. She's pushing it, but we'll have to do it.
Is this pushing it? I was being modest. You know, I'm not gonna make you dab. Don't worry.
Oh no. we can share a dab. It's the concluding dab.
The dab conclusion.
We write songs too. You know, you can have a conclusion dab song.
Ooh.
You know, the
Dab
dab
out.
for
Dab
the
it
end.
on out.
Dab it on out. Whatever it takes. Chill.
Yeah, because it's not about that time yet.
No, it's
No.
20 seconds away from about that time.
That's right, Noah. The countdown is on.
I'm ready. Are you counting your head? Everybody should be counting in their head, up and down at the same time.
I lost track already. I wish people can help me. Did
Well,
anyone else keep track?
fortunately, you have
Do we
your
have
trick.
comments?
You have your trick.
It's still too hot.
Still too hot.
It's still too hot, Noah.
I mean,
Might be cold outside, but it's hot in here.
it's true. These rare rains in LA. I mean, people think the snowstorm in the Northeast, but these rain in LA, people, it's like shocking when.
Oh my
rain
God,
happens
people
here.
cannot drive as soon as it starts to
very
sprinkle.
crazy.
They
Crazy
were like,
things
it's
happen.
pouring. I'm like, it was sprinkling.
No, it's.
hard,
I mean, it
but
is
sprinkling.
In all fairness,
It was
is-
misty.
It's different.
Like,
but
yeah.
rain,
It does
guys.
rain here hard every once in a while,
Yeah.
but today was not one of those days.
And for here, when it rains like that, people get shook. It's like a snowstorm in the Northeast, for real. But
Hold that.
I'll hold this gladly.
Are you gonna take a little baby hit?
Oh yeah, sure. That's what I do.
I'm gonna share this with you.
I like that.
Okay. Go for it. All right, you're good. It was about that time.
About that time, guys. Thanks for checking in.
Double dabbing
Mary
Noah.
Jane, double dabbing with Dr. Dina. You got it.
Ooh.
Double dabbing Dr. Dina.
Delightful.
Thanks, guys.